Hey everybody, it's Kirk from Speakeasy. I am excited to be finally giving this tutorial video on the drinks protocol by Speakeasy. We've got a lot of ground to cover, so I will try to do this as quickly as possible, but I want to give you all a thorough explanation of how the protocol is going to work, what's different from the B&B version, as well as just some basic information about how we're going to approach this. So let's get started. Let's not waste any time. So for those of you who've seen my other AMAs, I like to do charts and such, and this one is probably fairly familiar because it's based on the B&B version. And the idea here is that the basic protocol is still functionally the same. You need to be a member to participate in the drinks protocol. This is a little different from the original B&B. There is no guest status in the drinks version, so you must hold a silver MKC. You must mint one of those. The gold is being shown there only because if you already have a gold, that will work as well. But from this point forward, anybody new that's getting a MKC will just be minting a silver one. But they are required one or the other in order to get into the protocol, and that gets you your base APR of 0.25 per day. And that is the only APR that is not variable. So that's just a fixed 0.25 to start with, and then you move on from there. So as far as the basic functionality of the contract, you're depositing drinks tokens into the pot. The pot is designed as it was before, simply to be the recipient of drinks tokens and hold those drinks tokens in order to pay them back out to members as rewards. It will still be a 50-50 split between the pot and the bank, although we'll probably be doing a much more frequent re-injection of those drinks back into the pot because we aren't really going to be doing as much investment current yet anyway with this version, and so the bank doesn't really need that many drinks tokens, but we didn't want to change the contract from the 50-50, so we're just going to do that and re-inject back into the pot as we need it to support the rewards in drinks. However, there will be some coming in, and the bank will be using some of those to convert into other tokens in order to invest. We are not going to be having nearly as a robust investment strategy in this version, at least for now. Maybe when we start building up some reserves, we can do a little bit more of that. But we are already represented in Elephant Money and Wolf. In Elephant Money, as you may recall, I did a quick video on this. We have a futures position that we could not liquidate during the B&B version, so we still have that, and so we're just going to be continuing to work that and earning off of that to support the drinks token. We also, even though we did liquidate all of our Wolf Capital assets when we were winding down the B&B version, we did go back into Wolf Capital with some of the drinks community programs and things like that we're moving forward. So we are still going to be using Wolf Capital for that, and then as we go forward we'll look at some other things, including re-evaluating the EMP protocol once Fusion is live. But overall, we are not going to be having a huge treasury or a lot of money in investments because, one, we don't have it, and two, because the goal is different here. In the B&B version, obviously, the goal was to earn as much external revenue as we possibly could in order to pay rewards. And we had to pay those rewards not in a native token, we had to pay them in B&B. So there was that challenge, and of course when the external revenue generating investments didn't pay as well, that created a drain on the contract. So with this version it's a little different because the main focus of the treasury here is simply to support the token. and the price of the token. And then everything else will be taken care of itself and will really be controlled by you, the members, because you have independent control of when you buy and sell Drinks token, which will totally affect the price. We can do things, of course, as a treasury, but it is all of the members in combination that will really make or break how this protocol runs, because it's running on a native token. So at any rate, we will have those small investments. But again, everything is focused around the Drinks token and trying to support the Drinks token as much as we can. And so here we see a chart. This is a chart that I just grabbed from today. I'm sure you guys are familiar and are looking at it either on Deck Screener or somewhere else. As you know, we've done very well with the token so far. We're getting close to a 10x from the launch price of 4 zeros and a 2. If we get to 3 zeros and a 2 by launch of the protocol day, that will be really exciting. What do we expect to happen with the price of the token at launch? Your guess is as good as mine. However, the indications are that we had a lot of people come in and buy token, and a lot of people put them into the staking contract because why wouldn't you? It was a great offer. And so now they've been earning more Drinks token while the price has been appreciating quite nicely over the last 2 months. But of course, the staking contract is ending. People are already taking their stakes out, but they are not selling their token. So this is a pretty strong indication that people do plan to move their Drinks tokens from the staking contract and into the main protocol. And I expect to see that happening, in a high percentage of the rest of the remaining tokens that are in the staking contract. Sure, we'll probably see some selling, some profit taking there as we move into it, but I'm not anticipating it being too heavy, because I think most everybody currently is a member from the first version, and everybody's being supportive and want to come in to the main protocol and try to continue to earn more. So we'll see. No one can predict that, but that's my assessment of it at this point anyway. So I think that if we all as a community do that and go into the main protocol with our staked Drinks once they come out, that is only going to increase the price of the token, because that's the only token that's out there to sell right now. And so as we bring in hopefully new eyes and fresh eyes through my AMAs and through you guys talking about the token, all those will be fresh sales, just as we have been seeing right now, and will just increase the price because there won't be a lot of sell pressure. So that's the first strategy that we want to all employ, is to try to put as many of our Drinks tokens that we have earned over these last 2 months back into the protocol and start running the protocol that way. That will increase the price of the token, almost certainly. Okay, the other thing I mentioned, that one of the big differences is that the Treasury is going to be trying to support the token price rather than generating a lot of external revenue to give to members. The external revenue that is generated will be then in return used to support the price of the token. So that's coming through the bank and its investments, and that's also coming through our NFT sales. Now, again, since we wanted to try to take care of all of our members and provide everybody with free NFTs to move from the BNB version into the Drinks version, we have very little revenue generated so far that's related to NFT sales. Of course, we did some upgrade past the level up program, where you could go from a 1 or a 2 level up to a 3 level. And then we also did the wildcard NFT program, and we've generated a few $1,000s in those programs that has gone into the Treasury to support the price of the token. But so far, we haven't really seen too much NFT sales, because we were trying to not charge existing members more money to get into this protocol. So hopefully, though, as we move forward and get new people coming in, of course, they will have to buy at the very least an MKC to participate in the token or in the protocol. And so we can see some NFT sales there that we can then use to support the token price. All right. Let's talk a little bit about the mechanics of the drinks version. As I said, we're going to be looking at it live here in just a minute, and you will be very familiar with it in terms of how it's laid out. But let's just go over a few things real quickly about it. First of all, one of the main things that you're going to notice in this version of the protocol is just about everything is variable. And this is by design. It's partly what we learned in doing the B&B version. And it just makes a lot of sense for us to be able to control the protocol a little bit more than we had control of it in the B&B version, so that we can dial things back if we need to, or conversely, we can heat things up in order to generate interest or have a special promotion or something. So, variability is going to be key here. So the first thing is that also will apply to the deposits. As you remember from the B&B, there were limits on the initial deposits as well as additional deposits on your Let It Ride. There will still be limits on these in the drinks tokens. However, those limits will move. And they're going to move for a couple of reasons. One, as I've already mentioned, that we want to have the ability to control things a little bit. But the other reason is out of the Treasury's control, and that is the price of the drinks token. Since that's going to be determined by everyone, we may need to move things around so that things don't either get too expensive or the other way around. So we needed the ability, since we're using a native token, to be flexible on that. So for the beginning, launching out on day one of the protocol, the initial deposit amount will be 3 million drinks tokens. So that will be the max that anybody can put in on day one, is 3 million drinks tokens, which I think right now at that price is about $400, something like that. Again, I've already talked about the variable drinks cocktail NFTs, both the level 1, level 2, and level 3, as well as the wildcard, will have variable APRs. I'm not quite ready to announce what the launch APRs are going to be yet, but we'll have that information to you soon. Just like in the B&B version, it is, even though you're earning a daily rate, it will still work exactly the same. You'll interact with the contract once a week. Same thing about weekly claims and max wallet controls. However, we've made a pretty significant change here. First off, the max weekly claim will be 2 million drinks tokens to start. And again, these are all to start, because we want to be able to take a look at things and see how it goes and make adjustments as need be. However, one of the big changes is how we wanted to treat the max wallet situation. So a max wallet to start the protocol is going to be 30 million drinks tokens. Now, you may have already put together the fact that if I can only put in 3 million drinks tokens, and by the way, additional deposits during a Let It Ride in your weekly rollover, that max is also 3 million drinks tokens. So if you do your math real quick, if you don't count what the drinks tokens you earn every week, that means that you cannot create a max wallet for about 9 to 10 weeks in this new version. Now, maybe a little less than that depending on how it actually works out with rates and how much you're earning, but you get the basic idea. If you can only put 3 million in a week and the max is 30 million, that if you don't even count the interest you're earning in drinks, that's 10 weeks. So we have changed this pretty substantially in order to level the playing field a little bit, so that people can't basically come in and create a max wallet from day one and just be always claiming from day one. So everybody's going to have to work towards building a max wallet in the drinks version. Again, variable in the Let It Ride amounts. You'll see that in the interface when we go through that quickly. That's basically also a new feature that will give you more flexibility in what you do when on your weekly rollover in terms of if you want to do a Let It Ride. We also have a new reward payout option, which is the thing that I've been teasing the most going along, and I'll show you that here in just a second as we get into the interface. We still have the referral program, which is, I believe, 5% of the initial deposit made by somebody that you refer in to the first time. So that's exactly the same. It's just in drinks tokens instead of B&B. All right, let's take a look at the interface. Okay, so here is the interface. A lot of it, like I said, is very similar to what you are already used to. I'm going to go ahead and connect my wallet. So we can take a look at it when it's connected to a wallet. Okay, let's go through it really quickly. First section is the My Tab section, which is the same kind of information that was in the B&B version. You can see your TVL, and you can see what your daily boost is based on what NFTs you have. So again, this wallet only has an MKC, which is the minimum requirement, so it's earning the 0.25. And then, of course, if you've referred anybody in, you will see that information there. Okay, moving down to the rewards section. Again, the interface very similar, where we have the additional deposit amount that you can do once a week, and you can let it ride or you can cash out. Now, this is a change, as you immediately recognize. We've created a new mechanic that when you do roll over every week, you can now determine if you want to how much you want to withdraw in drinks and how much you want to reinvest. So it's not an all or nothing choice anymore. You can pick through these 4 options: 25, 50, 75, or 100. So these will say, for instance, if you select 25, that means you're going to take 25% out and you're going to reinvest the 75% all the way up to the reverse of full withdrawal, no reinvestment. So you can now do that every week and have an easier strategy in doing how you claim and compound. The timer works exactly the same as before. It's a full week, 168 hours. That just works exactly the same as what you're used to. And same thing with the recaps of total deposits and redeposits and total withdrawals. So very similar with the addition of this rollover option once a week, which I think is a good improvement. All right. The new thing is what we are calling the exchange. And so what is the exchange? Well, the idea here is that, as you know, when you're dealing with a native token, of course, one of the issues is sell pressure on that token. So we wanted to try to do everything that we could to minimize the amount of sell pressure on the token. So we have come up with this idea of the exchange, which is basically an OTC. So, but here's how it's going to work. So, and this is a big part of what we've been saving up for with the promotions that we've been doing and money that's been coming into the drinks treasury is going to go into the exchange. Right now, there's only 14 USDT in there, but there'll be about 5,000 USDT in there when we launch the protocol. Also, you see the current price of drinks. And so what you will do when you're taking drinks out of the protocol is then you can then redeposit them into the exchange. And once you do that, so I will do one here. Let's see, I'll go ahead and put in, let's say 100,000 drinks, which the value currently of that, as you see, is $18.52. So I will go ahead and approve this. Gotta do all the Robbie stuff. Okay, let me approve. Taking a little time here. Okay, I think I may have noticed that there might be a bug here where it's actually approved. There we go. Oh, just took a little longer than I thought. Okay, no problem. So now we've approved the 100,000 drinks at the value of $18.52, and now we'll go ahead and deposit them. All right. So, very similar to the staking contract, you'll see down here you can have multiple active exchange stakes going. And basically what you do, what it does is it holds those drinks tokens for 30 days. And at the end of 30 days, you can withdraw that amount plus 5% for staking it for the 30 days. And you're paid out completely in USDT. So it does the exchange for you. And also, by the way this contract works is the minute that you do what I just did, these funds have already been set aside. So we're not investing and then hoping we have enough to pay off. And so that's why the exchange will only be working if we have funds available for it to work. But you'll know and can rest assured that those USDT funds are there for you. And so basically you're helping the protocol by not selling your drinks on PCS or through the DApp. Instead, you are giving them to us and we're doing that conversion for you as a treasury, and we're giving you a 5% bump as a thank you, so that your time is worth something. And so in 30 days you will get, in this case I put in $18.52 at the time of the deposit worth of USDT in drinks, and then the extra 5% comes out to $19.44. So at the end of the 30 days I can take out $19.44 in USDT. So pretty slick, and I think this will go a long way towards helping reduce some of the sell pressure. Of course, we have to keep funds in the exchange in order to make this work, and so that's what we've been working on as a protocol. That's why I've been saying, participating in some of these Drinks Community Bank projects is very important to us, because this is the reason, because we want to be able to keep the exchange running and keep funds in there so that you all can use this instead of selling them on the open market. So that is the new exchange. So very excited about that. Looking forward to hearing your comments. All right, let's wrap this up. Basically, what are some of the best practices that we can take in order to make drinks run as effectively as possible? Of course, none of this is financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor, and you need to investigate all of this and make sure you never invest more than you can afford to lose. And so the first best practice, of course, is to take profits responsibly. What does that actually mean? It means things like using the exchange if it's available to you. It means coming up with a strategy that works for you, but that includes some level of compounding so that you can, keep the protocol moving forward. You all understand how the ROI contracts work in that sense. And so one of the things that you can do on a weekly basis is either compound a percentage now that we have that functionality, or if you're going to take a larger amount, maybe take a small amount of that and do a buy. Like for instance, maybe let's say you're going to take 75% of your week out and leave 25% into compound. Then maybe you would take another 10 or 20% of that 75 and buy more token to create some buy pressure, and then keep that other 50% or 60% or whatever it was. So things like that, whatever works for you, but if you can come up with creative ways to keep buy pressure on and sell responsibly, take profits responsibly, that will help an enormous amount. Again, use the exchange if available. If we have funds in there, use that. Don't sell it on the open market. You're getting the same exact live price as if you were selling it on the live market. So there's no loss there. And in fact, you're also saving the 2% that you will pay on the live exchange, and there are no taxes. There's nothing. We're not taking any fees in the exchange. We want that to work to everybody's advantage. So then, talk to your friends about the token. I know that sounds simple. And I know that one of the issues with the B&B version of Speakeasy and just Speakeasy itself, even the drinks version, is it's a little bit complicated to understand about getting the NFTs and how they work. Well, we do have the advantage here in this version of just having a token. So you can talk about the token and say, well, there's a whole protocol that supports this token, but, maybe you might want to just buy some token for a little bit and get your feet wet and just see about it and learn about it before you decide to invest in an NFT and come into the protocol. So it makes it a little easier to talk about, and also makes it easier for me to talk about in AMAs, where I'm not asking people to put forward necessarily an investment in an NFT, where they may be able to just come into the token for a little bit again and see what everything is all about. And then finally, of course, keep your eye on your ROI. I know that we've had some people who did not ROI in the B&B version, and I'm sensitive to that. But I think that a lot of people, usually when they go through this, some people get excited and they maybe compound a little bit more than they should. So, but always please keep your eye on your ROI. We've got this new function that lets you be a little bit more specific with your let it ride strategies. So use that to your advantage, and just keep an eye on that so that you're sure that you're taken care of at the end of the day. All right. Well, this went along a little bit longer than I thought it was going to, but I hope you found it interesting and informative. I'm excited to see you, everybody, this weekend in the chat as we roll out the protocol live. And take care, everybody. Cheers.